Hello and welcome to Challenge to Build and to my mini mess. What started out as just a wiring harness, it's never just anything. And I kind of already knew that it was going to lead to what is coming in the future days, weeks, and months for this car. The couple who owns this car, this is a 1974 Mini Cooper Innocente. I'm not 100% sure that this is a legit Innocente. Looking at some of the paperwork, I'm not 100% sure. So for the video series, this is just a 1974 Mini Cooper. I did find out that it has a motor from a 1990. This is the 10-to-1 compression high output motor. This is a 1275, which classifies it as the 1300 cc. I'd show you the emblem on the grill, but it's not there because I already took it off. And the couple who owns the car wanted me to go through it and kind of update, make it safe. This seems to be, from the outside, outward appearance, a very good-looking car, but there are definitely quite a few issues amongst the entire vehicle, one of which was the wiring harness, two, the brakes, suspension. It seems like, again, outwardly, it looks cool, but on the inside, we got some problems that we got to take care of. So I'm not 100% sure. This video series is going to be more of like a video log on documenting the project, not necessarily any specific real how-to videos. We are going to get involved in doing the wiring harness. That's kind of what started this whole thing. In the last couple of days, I started taking apart the dashboard, labeling all of the wiring on the gauge clusters, carefully started taking things apart, and then it just kind of quickly snowballed out of control, and now we're at the point where I'm going to pull the motor and transmission. There's an oil leak that has been progressively getting worse down underneath. So I don't necessarily know if it's the transmission or the oil leaking. I want to say it's the oil, but that's going to get repaired. So we're going to go ahead and pull out the engine and transmission. I know that with these cars, the K member or the front chassis component actually drops out from underneath with just a few bolts. I'm going to try to leave that in here, at least for the time being. Right, wrong, or indifferent, you know, if there's any Mini Cooper, what's the word I'm looking for? Mini Cooper experts that watch this, you might be like screaming at the TV right now or the phone that you're watching it on and say you're doing it wrong, and that's fine. Leave me a comment. I love the feedback. It's going to be a video series where we hopefully will learn from. All that saying, engine and transmission is coming out. I'm going to get involved in running new brake lines. The proportioning valve was removed at some point in time and is now just kind of floating out in midair. It was never bolted to the firewall. Wiring harness. We are probably going to do a new master cylinder and new clutch slave cylinder, and ultimately start restoring this car slowly but surely. I want to paint inside the engine compartment. I want to paint the engine, fix the oil leak. We got a lot of work to do on the interior. So it has, as my dog now is checking out the project. Caesar, what are you doing? You know we're not going anywhere, right? You gonna come help me work on the project, huh? 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 Do you approve? Are you gonna help? Hmm? So where was I? I have no idea. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a daunting project. It has already, just like any other car or truck project or house project or boat project, has snowballed out of control, which, again, I'm not super surprised, because if the wiring harness was any telltale sign of what this car looks like, you know, attention to details with, you know, the little things. The wiring harness is a great foundation to start with because it's how everything works. So if that's not done correctly and safely, nothing else is probably done that way either. So welcome to Challenge the Build. Welcome to the Mini Mania project and projects. Eventually there's a 69 Mini over there that will eventually see some camera time. Might even rob Peter to pay Paul on this one. So I hope you enjoy the video series. Again, there is no schedule. There is no real how-to input, just documenting the overall scope of the build. So I think I'm going to get involved in pulling a motor out. There, man, you can just drop it over here if you want. I need these parts for the car. Oh, stop. Thanks for letting me know. All right, man, thank you. Hey. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. He's going to be delivering some parts. You gotta welcome him. Thanks for letting me know. All right, what a way to start a video, right? Parts. That was perfect. I didn't know we were going to do an opening box video or a box opening video. What do we got? All right, so item number one, I got reds, blues, yellows, all different types of terminals, butt connectors, spades, eyes, all kinds of things in the heat shrink. So just in case we need them. Got a roll, 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls. This is the X Fasten brand. This is wire harness tape. This is not to be confused with electrical tape. This is like the fabric tape that you can, make your own wire looms and different things like that. 180 piece kit of heat shrink from 3/32 all the way up to 3/4. This is from Wirefy. The wire loom is from Alex Tech. This is expandable sleeving, what they classify as expandable sleeving. So I have 100 feet of 1/2 inch. I have 100 feet of 3/8, and I have 100 feet of 1/4 inch. I ordered all of these parts from Amazon, and I did put in quite a bit of research when it came to the wiring harness, and I've decided to go with Auto Parts Prodigy. This is a 21 circuit, 17 fused kit. And right on the top, my favorite thing when it comes to doing reviews on products, right? Wire harness instructions, the comprehensive guide to wiring your vehicle. So this is good. I am going to definitely take the time to read this. And the wiring harness. So these are going to be alternator and column connectors, along with the main harness. And we'll get into this later, but obviously a delivery came in. I can't help but open the box. This is going to be one of the items that we are going to talk about as a review style process. I did take the time to read some of the reviews on purchasing this harness. Looks like it's all 12 gauge wire, which it's very heavy wire, which is nice to see. Everything is labeled. They said some of the labeling was kind of smudged out. Left rear turn, dome light, fuel gauge, fuel pump. The reason that I went with the Auto Parts Prodigy is, one, of the cost. It's very affordable. Two, and this is actually where I really made my decision, was I did spend some time and look at other manufacturers like Painless, Haywire. I think there's another one, American Wire, or something along those lines. I also spent time looking at Summit Racing, Jegs, Speedway Motors. spent my time going through Amazon, all the different areas and where I would purchase a wiring harness, and I finally decided to go with this one, again, because of the cost, and this one is a 21 circuit with 17 fuse slots, and some of the other manufacturers were only offering 15 fuse slots, and I think one of them actually only had 12 fused slots. I'm not 100% sure. So I did put a lot of time and effort in researching, reading, going back and forth before I made my purchase. So this is the one that I chose, and you will see this in an upcoming video as far as how I install it. So be looking for that. Get all this stuff picked up and put away and get back to actually what I was supposed to be doing this whole time. I need to get this motor out and get moving. What? It's not a 10 millimeter. What the heck kind of car is this? An 11 millimeter. I guess that's going to be a sign of things to come. This is definitely way out of my comfort zone when it comes to cars that I've worked on. You can't really get any smaller or obscure than a classic Mini Cooper. Definitely can't really get any smaller, I guess, unless you work on a smart car. But who would ever do that? Let's see, is it gonna fall? One positive aspect about all this is the size of the parts. Really shouldn't need any help taking things apart. I guess I should learn to call the names as what their original names were. So I guess I could say I took the bonnet off. Is the bonnet the hood, or is the bonnet the trunk? What's the trunk? Hatch? No. Would this be considered a saloon? A saloon is 4 doors, a sedan is 2, or is it the other way around? I really have no idea. But I think I took the bonnet off. Bonnet, hood, bonnet, trunk, I don't know. Leave a comment. Help me learn this thing. All right. I can see. Yesterday, I took out the radiator, the fan shroud, took the cooling fan off. I think I'm going to pop the carburetor off because it is really tight back here. There has been some modifications done to this car already. Like I said, it has the 10-to-1 compression high output motor, I believe from like a 1990 by running the numbers. And it had an intake put on it, and I believe this is a HIF 44 carburetor. SU updraft carb, which I've already kind of tried to tune it in previously, trying to get this thing to be on the road, and it's running really, really fat, which fat is heavy on the fuel. So I think it needs to be rejet with a more lean needle, and I've watched a lot of content specifically on that carburetor, so even that is going to be something new for me and something that I will document through this process. Obviously I'm way into the project, but for safety reasons the battery has already been disconnected. That is something that you definitely are going to want to do before doing any pulling of any engine of any kind, no matter what you're working on. So that has already been done. That's one. And it's going to get dropped. Oh, it's going to get dropped. Oh, oh, got it. Come on, give it up. There it is. Can't imagine whoever worked on this car previously to me must have had a heck of a time getting this carburetor in here, because it really does not fit well back here. And it would probably explain why this access panel was never put back on, because the air cleaner went on back here, and I can only imagine that the only way to get that nut on, if it was on, because it wasn't when I took it apart, would have been going through the dash panel. So, like I said early in the video, yeah, see? Doesn't. It's going to fight me all the way to the end. I know it. There it goes. Come on, baby. Get off of there. Come on. Here we go. All right. Here we go. No matter what carburetor you're working with, don't ever turn them upside down. Try to leave them right side up. Kind of looks confusing because the bowl's up here, but you want to leave it just like this because it's filled with fuel until we get to rebuilding it. Block off plate, gasket, spacer, and again, referring to the wiring harness, you know things are bad when you got a cut and spliced wiring harness. Some stuff wasn't even hooked up, but another safety concern was how the throttle cable was connected. I mean, I know JB Weld is like awesome stuff, but in my opinion, I don't necessarily think you want your throttle cable JB welded to the bracket. So, all an adventure. This is going to be a fun car to work on. I mean, who puts it together with 11mm bolts anyway? Is it a 13? It is a 13. Ooh, ow. Let's see, count how many times I bust my knuckles. That's one. Through this whole build series, I should document it. Get a piece of paper out and document how many times I bust my knuckles, how many times I dropped a wrench. But I did spray these down with Pea Blaster last night, so I think that's why it broke loose as easily as it did. That's one. That's two. I just went yard sailing this past weekend, and I picked up a whole bunch of new tools, and I got a really, really good deal. And only if I told the guy that I was actually on YouTube, he could have watched me use them. But I actually bought a set of wrenches. These are the offset closed end wrenches, and just so happened I have metric. These are metric, and that's pretty awesome because I need a 13mm offset for what I'm doing. And I thought to myself, when am I ever going to use these? And lo and behold, I bought them specifically to work on this car. Who knew? It was worth the $5 that I paid for them. And Duro Indestro, made in the USA. So definitely worth my $5 just for this one bolt. Thank you, guy at the yard sale who made one heck of a deal, or accepted one heck of a deal. I appreciate you today, and probably for years to come as I continue to use your tools. If anybody is watching through this video, we're going to become really good friends, because since I'm shooting YouTube videos, YouTube won't allow me to listen to the radio because of copyright issues with music. That's why a lot of people, when they're working on their stuff, have time-lapse in their video, because during time-lapse segments, you can run your, play music and different things. But you're just going to hear me talk to myself now, because while working on a car, I have to entertain myself and entertain all of you. So it's important that as you watch this, please spend some time commenting in the comment section of all of the different things that I'm doing wrong, right, or anything. Talk about the projects that you're working on. Tell me how I'm doing it wrong. Calling things the wrong name. Wrenches. I don't care. Ah, that's beautiful. Drops down out of the way. Woohoo! All right. While I'm here, might as well take that out. 13mm. I know. Supposed to turn the nut and not the head of the bolt. I know. My custom torque arm is still holding up. I replaced the bushings in this wishbone, dog bone torque arm, engine torque arm, with end links from an old C10 that I had. I just kind of milled them down a little bit and pressed them in. It's been working great, so. I need a new magnet. Something I need to Amazon. I hate when I lose my nuts. Got motor mounts, torque arm down there. The biggest thing is going to be pulling the axles and shift linkage. Pop off the rubber line for the slave cylinder. Hook up the cherry picker and the motor will come out. So progress is being made. Definitely is a cute little thing. $13, $15, $17. Let's see if I'm right. I don't know. Is that a 14? 14? What is going on? Isn't it always supposed to be 13, 15, 17? 14. 14. 14. 17. 17. 17. 13. Okay, so I need a 14. First side's always the worst. Takes you 10, 15 minutes to figure out what the heck you're doing and what you need. Pop off the shock. Let's see here. I also like my little Pre-Ace M12 ratchet that my wife got me for Christmas last year too. Yep. It doesn't shock anymore. Shocking. I cracked myself up. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Ah. Gotcha. Oh, crap. It's 3/4. Not to worry. Okay. Woo, that popped off really nice. Sweet. Gotta remember that goes tapered in. Nice, nice, nice. The bottom popped loose. That's not what I was working on. That's not what I wanted. Let's see here. What are these, 15s? Oh, we got company. Time. I guess that'll work for a spacer. So there's supposed to be a factory spacer in between the shock and I guess what you could consider the upper control arm. And they don't have a spacer there. I will show you exactly what they have in just a second. All right. Another shock that doesn't absorb. Again, shocking. But for the spacer, they used a old spindle or like a control arm ball joint nut. So that works. And I am running out of time for today, or at least this afternoon. I'm going to have to pause, and my son has a football game today, or both of my sons have a football game today, and I need to make sure that I am there. What the heck? He's all boogered up. 17. The other side was 17 too. These must be all boogered up. That's got to be what it is. So what I'm going to do is finish taking this stuff apart and take a break. I still haven't even eaten lunch yet. Huh? 2:30.
You better come eat then.
Why? What time is it?
Probably 10 or 2.
Oh.
You cleaned up and eat.
I figured I'd take this side apart before I come in and wash my hands up. Get all the greasy stuff done. Take me 10 minutes to get this apart and come in, probably wolf down a couple hot dogs and then get moving.
Can I make them for you?
If you would like to, it's fine.
Are they in the fridge?
Yeah, they're in the fridge. The pack's not open. You can throw them in the microwave if you really want to go to crazy. You can fry them. It doesn't matter to me. Two is fine. Gotta love moms. Thanks, Mom. Grandparents came up to see the football game, and I got lunch out of the deal, so it's a win-win. She doesn't know she was on She doesn't know she was on camera. She's gonna be all embarrassed. But that's okay. That's always another thing that we tend to forget is time. Well, if you're wondering what happened, just as like any other YouTube video, my camera stopped recording. Actually, my battery died in my phone, which canceled the recording. So I lost a little bit. You haven't really missed too much. What I ended up doing was I finished taking apart the driver's side, same fashion that I did the passenger side, busted it all apart. I don't know if you can hear it now, but I have the axle shaft popped out. I guess they call them pot joints or something like that. I had to figure out how to get it out. It doesn't just pop out like a standard axle. So that's kind of where I'm at and what I'm doing. I'm going to finish. I got to pop out the axle on this side, take care of cutting the exhaust off. I'm going to drop down the header because there's an exhaust leak down there where the coupler goes. There's a flex coupler down there that's been drug on the ground a little bit. And I have to take apart the shift linkage. So I got a little bit of work down below to do. Once that's done, it's down to hydraulic line for the clutch slave master cylinder and I think a couple motor mounts. So hopefully within the hour, give or take, I will have this out. So enjoy the rest of the video and who the heck knows what's going to happen. All right. There it goes. I was getting nervous. One side popped out nice. Should probably be prepared for a mess. Let's see what that does. There we go. And that just sit there. That goes to show you that these cars are put together. I can't even get the axle out of the subframe in the hole that's there. So you can kind of see why that the whole car would have to be taken apart the way that the K member drops out. So for now, it just can sit there, which works perfectly. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. It'll work. There you go. That's a missing bolt. That seems important. The diff cover missing a bolt could be why it might be leaking there. Just saying. Well, what do I know? I don't know this stuff. Oh, that's broken. Is that broken? Ah, that's broken. That could be why it was a lot of play in there. That is broken. So we got missing bolts, broken bolts. All right. With a little luck and a big hammer, we will conquer. I wonder what that was for. I don't know what that was for. I'm already missing bolts. One more is not going to hurt. Let's see here. This probably goes to this, which was for the exhaust. Okay. Let's see here. Yes. All right. Victory. Beautiful. Awesome. That's a great feeling. All right. Shifter is disconnected. Just going to let that chill there. I'm going to have to fix that. And to think, I do this for fun. Here's a great idea. Why don't you start a YouTube channel, call it Challenge the Build, and then just work on stuff and build stuff, not finish projects, and take things apart for entertainment, right? I think the only thing holding this in there is motor mounts. Sweet. Time to clean up and start over. So let's see here, as I jack this up, because it's something that we all love to do when they're compacted like this, let's go over what we did today. First off, we got a delivery. Second, we contemplated life's decisions of becoming a mechanic. Third, went to go see my boys play football. And finally, getting ready to pull a motor. So, not a bad day. And in the meantime, throughout some of that, we disconnected a whole bunch of bolts, took off a whole bunch of parts, and made a mess on the floor. And now I'm assembling my way overkill cherry picker to pull out a motor, hopefully. A couple more bolts and we will hopefully be ready to rock and roll. Did I get it? I got it. Enjoy the little victories. I do have to say, roadworthy rescues and C.T.B's gears, they make it look so easy. C.T.B's my guy though. I grew up watching C.T.B and gears through the truck series and all the different shows he was on. And if my calculations are correct, which they never are, this thing should come out now. Whoa, that wasn't good. Something's still connected. Okay. Put them out. These bolts are out. It's got to be that one bolt. As long as we don't lose it off the jack stands. Yep, just that one pesky bolt. Son of a gun. Alright. That should be the trick. Try again. That's what it was. That's what it was. Can't get the freaking hoist over because of the damn jack stands. Let's keep going, I guess. Come on. Whew. What a job that was. Time for a break. And that's going to be how we conclude episode 1 of Mini Mania and the teardown. All this because of a wiring harness? I guess so. I don't know if you're still watching. If you are, thank you. It was a good day. The main objective was to get the engine out, and we achieved that. So that is a great way to end the first episode. And you'll see this car again here in the near future. Thank you for watching. I've challenged my build today. All you need to do is go challenge yours. And it's time for me to clean up anyway. So, good night, or so long, or thanks for watching. I'll see you later.